Miran. I was here all day. You know me, I guess. I will talk about application-specific blockchains. And what are they? Let's start with it. Application-specific blockchains are the blockchains for one app, specific for just one application. There are features of the application-specific blockchains. They are able. You are able to customize them however you want. Like for your consensus mechanism, you can customize the consensus mechanism for your business requirements. You can customize your economic structure. You can customize your governance structure. By this way, these all freedom brings you some better performance because as storage or as a transaction queue, you are not waiting for a traffic, you are not competing the other apps. So it will bring you the better performance as an application. I will detail them later on. Yeah, it all started with the publishing the Cosmos and Polkadot white paper at 2016, and it took 5 years to complete with the blockchains to be launched. By these were happening, the bull run had started at 2020. At 2020, Polygon has launched as a sidechain to Ethereum network, and Polygon brought some scaling solutions to Ethereum. People started to using Polygon instead of Ethereum network because it had a breach through the Ethereum network and Polygon back. Actually, you can have more breaches for Polygon because it's EVM compatible. You can have breach with Binance Smart Chain. There is already a breach for Binance Smart Chain between Polygon and Binance Smart Chain. By this way, Ethereum was having scaling problems, and they were launching the ZK Sync, for example, and StarkX. I want to talk about StarkX later on, detailed as a detailed way. ZK Sync is a zero knowledge proof to scale Ethereum network because there is a huge mass of traffic when there is a tweet or there is news. The market goes up and down, so you will have traffic for your transaction. You will wait, maybe you can't trade, you can't exchange your assets. That's a problem. That was the main problem for Ethereum. It took last time late 2020 and early 2021 to fix these issues. Still they are developing the ZK Sync, Arbitrum, Optimism. They are, as we know, they are the rollups, optimistic rollups, and zero knowledge rollups. The What else I can say here? I talked about, yeah. Next slide. Yes. What is different with app chains? They are actually blockchains, but as layer one, they don't have another applications that's running on the ecosystem. They have just one application on the chain. So, as I said, there is no traffic, there is no storage issues. Uh, it affects the gas fees, and it gives you a better performance as a application chain. What is different with layer twos? As I said, layer twos are the scaling solutions for layer one. Like Ethereum had the scaling problems, and then StarkX and ZK Sync had come to the area. Then it got better to develop applications on Ethereum by this way. Okay. I gave an example. Optimism and Arbitrum execute the transactions and submit them to the main blockchain to leverage the main blockchain's settlement layer. Like you are just having all the transactions into one proof, then you are just putting the proof through the Ethereum network settlement layer. By this way, it will be approved, valid, and stored in the blockchain. I gave example of sidechain. Sidechains as a Polygon. Polygon do not use the security of main blockchain Ethereum. They have its own security, and they don't post any transactions onto the main blockchain Ethereum. Also, there is a solution for Polygon. Polygon has Polygon Edge to develop some app chains on the ecosystem. There are example of one. What was it? There is one app chain. It's a game platform. I forgot its name, but I can share it with you later on. Check. There are subgraphs. Subgraphs are a part of the graph protocol. The subgraphs are open APIs. They index and query the blockchain data, and while using these data, you can develop your app chains and use these data uh, to get a better application for yourself and for better data management. You can use the subgraphs also when you put your open API to the graph protocol. People can get access to your data and they can use to create some dashboards or they can analyze your data for better performance also. Advantages of app chains, as I said, they are customable. You can customize your consensus mechanism, your economical and governance management, so you can have a voting system in in the blockchain. The validators can have tokens as staking, and by this way they will have right to have the decision to be executed for your blockchain. And these all advantages can give the developers freedom to build their applications in a wider range of possibilities. There are of course trade-offs of app chains. Right now, people are not aware of it or don't know about it. There are tool availability, but not enough, and there are not enough documents, resources to be followed for a beginner. It's really hard to develop a app chain on the ecosystem uh, because it's lack of resources. And by this way, if you wanna develop an app chain, you should first start with layer one blockchains and how they develop, how they manage. You should learn first these all. How does an app chain work? App chains operate similarly with the main blockchain. Not much different. You can customize your blockchain via the freedom of the app chains. You can own your token as a staking for validators, and you can have the voting mechanism by having this token. You can utilize your validators from the main blockchain who choose to validate for specific app chain. Uh, by all this way, there is just one application, so they don't compete with the other apps for transaction capacity or storage in the network. I can give an example of metropolitan and rural town. You can see the Ethereum, Solana, Polygon as a metropolitan city, and you can see the app chains as rural towns. Uh, when it's when it has a high activity and composability, which Ethereum has, you will compete with the other applications, of course, but also you can connect with the other applications easier while you are in the metropolitan. You will have external opportunities, but in app chain it's a rural area, so you will not have many opportunities. You will be just in the internal site, and external can be possible because it's lack of composability, but it's not impossible. You should implement the other applications into your app chain. There are ways to do it. What blockchains use these concepts? I can give example of StarkX in Ethereum. StarkX is a permissioned, tailor-made scaling engine. It's designed by Starkware company to fit the specific needs of apps. There are some popular applications like Sorare, Immutable X, DYDX, and Canvas. For example, DYDX has its own order book, and they have future trading. It's something new for blockchain because we used to believe that it's not possible, but app chains made it possible, and they can have trading future by using the contract on, and it's written on chain. I can give parachains as in Polkadot. They are even compatible like layer one blockchains called parachains. They are all layer one blockchains actually, and they are all parallel to each other, so that's why they are called parachains. They are also connected to a central blockchain that is called relay chain, and all the data is when it's valid, it's written on the relay chain. There is zones Cosmos that I like. They're using HubSpot model. Each app chain can each app chain or zone, they call it zone, is connected to Cosmos Hub, which is the center of the Cosmos network. I can give example DYDX again. DYDX it used to use it, I guess, and then they have changed to using StarkX doing this. Avalanche has subnets as app chains. Polygon has supernets, and supernets are very hot. That's not something new. I guess last summer it got launched, I guess. Okay, let's go with StarkX. StarkX is a scaling engine built with Lang and Sharp. Sharp is Sharp. I can't remember right now. Anyway, while Starknet is a general purpose, it's permissionless. It's decentralized zk rollup. A Starknet development process progress. StarkX deployments will be able to port to Starknet by this way when it's launched. It's not launched yet. It will be a port to Starknet. This will offer them to benefit of a fully decentralized network as well as composability with the other applications. The essence of StarkX, it has validity proofs. They are validated off-chain, checked by the on-chain verifier. They have massive scale, uneven division of computation it has. It has a self-custody, and each app can have anti-censorship mechanism on it. It has a data availability spectrum. User can choose whether to place the data on chain or off chain. There is a general computation. This is the future of Lang. Actually, Lang allows StarkX to support any business logic. You can create any business logic. You can create your app with any business logic with Lang. Actually, also privacy is provided with zk snarks, and they are zero knowledge proof system. I want to talk about parachains on Polkadot. A parachain is actually a parallel chain, runs parallel to Polkadot relay chain. As you see here, at C we have the parachain. When you have your app here and you want to send the data to collators, the collators collect the transactions from users and produce proof to the validators, and validators are right here. You go, the collators send to proof to validator. If it's valid, it is written on the relay chain. Another way, it's called layer 0. I like Cosmos zones. Each each dot here you see hub, and around that you can see the zones. Cosmos is the blockchain pioneer of hub-spoke architecture. Hubs can act as routers for zones, and zones are Cosmos speak for application-specific blockchains. Each zone is an app chain, so the hubs are connected to zones, and zones are the hubs. Sorry, zones are connected to hubs, and hubs are connected to each other. And in the center, there is the Cosmos network. They are all connected to each other by this way. What does app chains mean for gaming ecosystem? App chains will let you to develop your own blockchain for your game or for gaming platform. So you can freely develop your gaming platform, and you can have your games in it, and they can communicate with each other. They can share data with each other. Also, you can have bridges with other app chains too. So by this way, you can switch game assets to through the the other applications. So it's free to sell your NFT, get another NFT in other game, or you can just trade as an asset. You don't need to sell it or buy it. Uh, what I can say more? Security is provided from the main network, so you can feel secure. Also, I have read it's possible to build game engines, but I'm not sure about it. I think It should be a little bit harder. Maybe in the future they will do it. You can create gaming platforms, as I said. So, what kind of concept you want, you can make it happen via app chains. What are the opportunities? By using app chain concept, you can create high performance protocols. Is it DeFi protocols? I gave the example of DYDX and how they did the order book concept in the blockchain. App chain gaming engines you can create. It's an opportunity too. You can have developer tooling for customization, deployment, and maintenance. It's really great that you can have in AI enabled the apps. It's great. You can fetch the you can get the service in your application, the app chain in the app chain. For example, GPT-3, and you can specify your application with AI too. It's gonna be public, so anyone can reach and do their process. It can has trustless cross-chain messaging between EVM and non-EVM. You can have another chain and EVM between them. You can have your app chain and they can communicate with each other. That's a possibility too. Uh, what else? Yeah. Do you have any questions about app chains or something else?
So, can gas fee be less for the upchains?
Yeah.
Gas fee, so can it be less comparing with not upchains? So can developers just remove gas fee and to make it free?
Yeah, you can do it actually. On StarkX, the data is written off chain. Then when it gets the proof, it's written on the chain. So there is no gas fee in StarkX, as I know.
Mhm. Yeah, and another question: am I right that upchains can be scammed easily, more easily than not upchains? Uh,
Not a chance.
I mean, upchain can be a scam. Just they just can do whatever they want because it's their blockchain, so they can scam, right?
Actually, the database is blockchain. The application still runs like the other Web2 applications. You are just writing the data on chain. So you are not using something central. You are having something global and decentralized. That's the opportunity actually. That's the good part of it. And that's a normal application otherwise. Just the data is written on the chain.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah, and there are the validators. They are checking the proofs if they are valid or not. This is how it works. Any other questions? All right. Thanks for listening to me. It's nice to see you here.